Hello, everyone. I'm Debbie and the Hard Giordano, bringing you Valley Homes on TV, along with our co-host, Todd Flesner.
Hello, everyone. Good to see you again.
Yeah, Todd, maybe 11 years we've been doing the show now, or are we going maybe 12?
Time just flies when you're having fun, Debbie.
Oh, we laugh. We've really enjoyed meeting up with you folks, those that you do watch our show, and that call in and ask, questions and things like that. But the guests that we brought through are very interesting, and you have a very special guest.
I certainly do. It's a pleasure to have with us Kelly King today. Folks may recognize Kelly. He's a longtime Milpitas homegrown guy. He also is head football coach of our local high school, Milpitas Trojans. And they're also the state champion, Division 4A.
Oh, we'll get to hear all about that.
So it's great to have you, Kelly.
Well, thanks. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, thank you.
So we'd like to get a chance to introduce folks. I mean, a lot of folks around town may know about you, through the football program, but tell folks a little bit more kind of about your hometown boy. You grew up here, where you went to school, and kind of what was your path that led you to Milpitas High?
Well, it was, I moved here in elementary school, so I went to Burnett School. Very proud of the Bulldogs. Mm-hmm. And then we attended Rancho. Mm-hmm. Took the path lap like everybody else growing up in Milpitas. You had to take that path lap at Rancho, run around.
Well, I was Russell.
You were Russell.
I was not Rancho, but that's okay.
Then I went to Samuel Air, and then for 3 years. And then after my junior year, they closed the school, and we became the Milpitas Trojans.
Yeah.
So I'm the part of the first graduating class in the Milpitas Trojans from Milpitas High. So I had both sides of town, and I grew up playing Milpitas North Little League baseball and played PAL football for the Knights, and came through the whole process, and ended up going on to college at San Jose City first for 2 years, got my degree, and then went and played at Cal State Hayward, got another degree, and then along the way, I was actually working in the industry in the town. I started coaching, and then one day they came up and said, "Hey, can you give us a 5-year commitment?" So 28 years later, I've fulfilled my 5-year commitment. So
you've done that and then some.
And you've stayed in this area.
Yes.
So obviously,
yes.
What do you like most about living, maybe in Milpitas or?
I think growing up in the time that I grew up, it's such a diverse community, and just great people that are willing to do things for their city and their community, and those are the friends that I grew up with. So it's just kind of a natural thing, I think, to be part of it. My mom is still here, and so just love being part of Milpitas.
Great.
Okay. Well, aside from coaching the football team, you also teach every day at
yes, there are 5 shows daily, and for math, 5 math shows daily.
I'm predicting coaching doesn't pay much, but you do have to have something that puts bread and butter on the table.
Yeah, the math is what pays the bills.
Good, good.
That's for sure.
How do you like that? How does that work?
I love it. I love being in the classroom with the kids and seeing a different group. I have some pre-cal classes with some older kids.
Oh, wow.
And I have some freshmen with the Math 1 program. So, I've done that my whole teaching career, kind of a little bit of the high, a little bit of the low, and seeing different kids. So it works out well.
Nice.
Fantastic. Well, let's get back to the athletic program. In terms of high school athletics here, are there certain requirements for kids to get involved? I mean, you came up through kind of the youth sports rink yourself in Milpitas. Is that a prerequisite? Can anybody play? I mean, how does it work in Milpitas?
Yeah, anybody can come out and play any sport. I mean, they'll try. Some sports have cuts, some sports don't. We don't cut. But you just have to have, you have your grades, have to have your 2.0. You have to do have to pass a physical and do all those things. But yeah, anybody can play, and we encourage participation there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. I know you have a booster club, I think, because actually my sister-in-law is part of that club with my niece that's in the swim program and the water polo. Anyway, what other parent involvement comes into play?
Well, there's obviously the booster club, and there, as far as athletic part, then the individual team could have, like we have a team mother and we have a group of parents that help out. Yeah, so the individual teams can branch off and participate that way as well. Sure.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, good. So, my kids have been through Milpitas High and the sports programs and all, and I know, Jeff Lamb, the AD, the athletic director, always talks about how the athletic program is a part of what happens in terms of student life there. Can you expand upon that a little bit more? I mean, it's more about than just what happens on the field or the level of competition that the kids
Yeah, first of all, I think that kids should be doing something outside of the classroom as well. I mean, you got to get involved in your community. You have to be part of something. I think that's what really solidifies the education process in there. You get your education, but you have to be more than that. So I think, athletics provides a good outlet for a lot of kids to be part of it. And, it's a really good thing that we have our program, which is comprehensive, I think, for most kids in Milpitas. There's a lot of different sports they can play when they grow up playing, and they feel a part of it. In our program specifically, and we're more like a family. We have dinners together on Thursday nights, and have them working out. And sometimes I'll bring them donuts and bananas, and they love that stuff. So. Yeah, so it's more like a family atmosphere.
Well, and you talked about that. You came to our Milpitas local Rotary Club, where we got to hear you talk about that and how it well rounds the student out and it makes a better citizen out of that person. So, how about the future? How about college? How does your program intertwine with maybe the eligibility or getting those youths involved in college scholarships?
Yes. So, part of it is when I started there wasn't a whole lot of opportunities. We had one school come on, that was San Jose City, when I was playing in school. So I wanted to make sure that we got out so kids had opportunities, they had options. So when I first started coaching back in 1990, when I got the head job, I reached out to a lot of programs. So I wanted to make sure that college coaches could come here and see our kids. Our kids have opportunities. So we take care of that. And then we have 2 teachers that help me academically. So we're tracking them and making sure they're on course to clear with the NCAA, so that they have that opportunity to go on if they so choose to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Terrific. Let's talk a little bit about this past season.
Yeah.
Yes.
Landmark season, huh?
It's all over the Milpitas Post
Yes.
and San Jose Mercury News. And are we proud of you?
Well, I'm proud of them. I didn't complete a pass or make a tackle, but they did it all.
Well, tell us about that process with this team, because they had to overcome a lot of things from the past couple seasons to really be successful this year.
Yeah, so we put ourselves in position, and we just came up a little bit short in the last 2 Northern California games. But in the last minute, we lost.
Oh wow!
So it was heartbreaking 2 years in a row. So this team was really focused coming into the season that the goal was to win a state championship. So, we set that goal, and we worked extremely hard, lifting weights in the off-season, our summer program, and then getting into the season. And the main thing, I think, was just keeping the kids focused on a daily basis, for them. So we took each game at a time. That was a stepping stone to get where we wanted to be. But they played really hard and did a great job.
Well, they put a lot of work and effort into that, absolutely. Describe what that felt like to accomplish that, and what sort of response did you get from the kids afterwards?
It was the best feeling in the world. Finally, unfortunately, we were in El Centro, California, which was a little bit further away from Milpitas, but it was a great feeling. I was so glad that we had probably about 100 fans that drove down. We had a second Rooter bus, and then Richard, who played for me, the mayor, he was there, and the superintendent, and we had some of our former alumni that made the trip. So that was real exciting because, I think part of it was, it was great that these kids got it done, but it was really for our community and our town, and to really feel good about something. And I hope we've passed that message along, but it was just a great feeling.
Great. Well, I get to ask, the next question is, what do you believe are the reasons why your football team is such a success? You talked about team unity. You talked about training, and getting their, getting them in shape.
Yes.
Anything else you want to add to that list?
Well, I think, our motto is success is often overshadowed by hard work.
Okay.
So, and I learned that from my father growing up in Milpitas. So you had to work hard.
Okay.
So, I try to pass that along to us, and that's we just try to set some standards for the kids and ourselves, and then once we have those standards, we're going to try to raise those standards. And so I think the kids, they realize that, and so once we reach something, we don't stop there. We're still trying to work for something to get better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Again, you've been very successful in the football field. What about other programs around Milpitas High? What are some of the other things that are going on there that people ought to know about that should make us proud of Milpitas?
Well, I think both basketball teams, the boys and girls, went to the CCS playoffs. But so I think that's good. They're doing a really good job. I think the track team is good. The baseball team is doing really well right now. So,
now is that just the boys or the girls? Or
as far as the girl, I haven't seen the softball. I got a couple softball girls in the club, but they're on the freshman team. So she's fired up. She's the pitcher. So I ask her. I get the information every day about how the frost-off's doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Terrific.
All right. Good. And then,
well, yeah, and you talk about the softball team, but you had a girl player on your team this year as well.
Yes, we did. Yes, Alexis
wow.
Ranger Dunbar. Yes, Alexis was there. I think she's probably the first girl to probably win the state championship in football. I'm pretty sure she is. I didn't check the records, but I'm pretty sure.
She's got a career ahead of her.
She does.
At least
she
writing
does.
a book.
She does. Yes.
So, what rewards do you get? I'm sure there's many, but if you can boil it down, what do you get?
For me, I think and we tell the kids this, or I tell the kids this. For one, I think is it's not so much what we do right now; it's what they're going to do in the future, what they're going to give back to their communities. We talk about giving back more than you've taken. Like love for them to come back and show me their college diploma, and then I think the other part is when they come back a few years after that and say, hey, this is what I'm doing in my community. I'm helping. With this program, or I'm coaching Little League, or I just had a kid come back the other day that he's in charge of the El Paso Fire Department.
Nice.
So so you can see just really good things they're doing.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Great. No, it's great to. It got to feel really good to be a part of that foundation for kids and helping get them launched, into adulthood. What are some of the challenges that you face?
Well, if you're a parent, you know the challenges.
Yes.
It's the same things. They don't change from being that kid at your house to being that student, with me. So I mean, it's all the same stuff. You gotta make sure they're working hard, doing what they're supposed to be doing, do the right thing. It's a maturing process. So there's sometimes you got to get after them, and sometimes you got to give them a hug. So I think I don't think it changes.
Okay, so the crystal ball. What's in the future for Kelly King?
Oh, for me?
Yeah.
Oh, going to teach 5 classes tomorrow. Going to have a great day in math.
Well,
We're going to be in the weight room.
Talks like a coach, doesn't he?
That's right.
Get it done.
That's what I don't know. I think I just want to be a part of Milpitas and see things. Continue on the process with these next group of kids. That's the thing. One group leaves, and there's another group standing there waiting to go. So, just focused on them.
Well, Todd and I are very proud of you, and we're so glad that you spent a few minutes to chat with us. And you're part of what makes Milpitas a great community.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it. But,
Yeah. Again, thanks a lot for joining us, Kelly.
Okay.
Congratulations. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
The following is a public service announcement test to determine if you need a fishing license and boat registration before you head out on the water. Let us begin. Are you a pelican? Does this look like your house? Is this your idea of fishing with friends? Do you use your feet as fishing hooks? Are you your own boat? Do you have webbed feet? No, I mean like a... That's the one. Do you want this in your favorite lake? Yuck, yike. No thanks, mister. Regardless how you answered, you need to be licensed and registered because it helps local conservation efforts protect the very natural resources you enjoy boating and fishing in for generations to come. Do your part at takemefishing.org.
Welcome back. You're watching Valley Homes on TV. Oh, I forgot to tell folks, Todd, we're on Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6:30 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday at 9 a.m.
So tune in.
So tune in. There we go. So let's see. This is the end of March. So we've got a good first quarter in.
Correct.
of the year. What's been going on in the financial markets this first quarter?
Well, we've started to see interest rates rise a little bit. So the highest we've seen in the last 4 or 5 years at this point in time. Historically, still good,
Yeah.
but they are up a little bit, and so that's being driven by the overall economy. the employment numbers have been very, very strong.
Okay.
So a lot of people are working. The other thing that's happening is the Federal Reserve has been in the background, kind of pumping the market, holding it up during the economic malaise that we had after the implosion. They really infused money into the bond market and brought interest rates down.
Mm-hmm.
They wound that program down. Then they've been in a cycle of what they just call repurchase. So as old loans pay off, they would purchase new loans to replace those. Well, they're phasing that out now, and we're going more into a more normal sort of supply-demand market, which is a part of why interest rates are starting to go up.
Yeah, and you mentioned, I think we're about 4.5% maybe?
Yeah, 4.5 to the high fours.
High fours.
Mm-hmm.
So has that affected many of the buyers that you've been working with and their ability to qualify?
In this area, demand for property is so high.
Okay.
And I've not seen the interest rate increase be the issue that really has prevented folks from looking at getting in property.
Okay.
If they're motivated to get in, typically they're able to find a way to make that happen. Affordability, I think, overall in the long run is an issue, of course, in this area. Right? What's the percentage of the folks in our local community that can afford to buy a home?
Well, and I think I would agree with you on that note. I had an open house this past weekend. Had 130 plus families through an open house for a $1.2 million property. So there's plenty of people looking.
Yes.
Just like you said, that demand is huge. But I know back in the minds of some sellers that I do talk to that are thinking of what timing to put their property in the market, thinks that the rising interest rates could, knock out some of their potential equity power in terms of selling it. I'm not seeing that. Do you?
No, I think the thing that I'm watching more carefully, I think if we have a strong correction in the stock market, that's going to be more a predictor of property values stalling.
So you're seeing a lot of the buyers that their down payments are coming from the stock market?
Their stock portfolio,
stock
absolutely.
Portfolio. And of course, we've seen a tremendous rise over the past year, which is they've been able to spend that stock money, market money.
That's correct.
Very readily.
Well, and the tech industry has a way of compensating its employees where they get to participate in stock of the companies, and the tech stocks have done very well. So this region has really benefited from that more than perhaps other areas of the country.
Okay.
The Seattle area is another tech-centric area, and Seattle is on fire as well. They're having the same issues there in Seattle that we have here.
Okay, great. Can I talk about some
Absolutely.
MLS numbers? All right. So we're looking at single-family home price a year ago in February 2017 of $1,007,000, and that's jumped up to last month $1,210,000. So a good $200,000 bump, and the median price went from $925,000 to $1,180,000. And then this is what I found interesting: the condo market. Now this is finally leveled off, but we had a price of $691,487 average price in February 2017. Guess what the new price is last month? $941,000.
Oh my goodness!
$846.
So the condo market's been on fire.
Condo market's on fire. $810,000 median price to $1,050,000. But I talked about that property that I just put into contract yesterday, and the bid was $350,000 over list. So again, we are going to see the single-family detached homes really expand in pricing. You're going to watch that.
And Milpitas is a very attractive community for the tech sector and for families to be living in.
Great great commuting area. BART will be now scheduled to be opened up in 2019. So that should be a good that'll be positive for the area. And the schools are good. We just heard from Kelly King, and
that's right.
The wonderful schools here.
We have all the ingredients for a great community for folks to live in. Plenty of jobs, great places to shop and eat, and recreate, and all the things that you look for in great quality of life. And
Yep.
weather most days is great too.
Yeah. It's
So-
a little rainy today, but that's okay. We can deal with it.
So we think we have a pretty good place to live. Right?
Yeah. All right, Todd, give folks your contact information if they want to reach you.
Yeah, if they want to reach me, have questions for the show or about financing in general, T. Flesner at opusadvisors.com.
Yep, and for myself, it's Giordano DJ at AOL.com.
Terrific. Well,
Okay.
we're glad the folks have joined us.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll see you in a couple weeks.
In a couple of weeks.
We
and
got some great guests coming up. So
we do.
okay, thanks.